There are two parts to this lesson: editing symbols and editing instances. They're very similar but not the same. Because all of these instances on the stage are simply references to the original object, any changes you make to the original object will be reflected in all of the instances. On the other hand, any changes you make to a particular instance won't affect anything else, because the original object stays the same. So let's look at editing symbols first. There's two ways we can do this. We can edit in place, or we can edit in the library. Let's look at edit in place first. This is probably the most useful method. To do this, you can either double-click the instance on the stage, or right-click it and choose Edit in Place, or choose from the Edit menu here. Let's double-click this. The appearance of the stage changes. Everything else is grayed out, but you can still see your symbol in relation to the rest of your document. And this is why this is my favorite method. You can also see up here above the timeline that we're currently editing the symbol myball_MC. To return to the main scene, simply click here. So let's make a few modifications here. Grab the free transform tool here and change the size. As you can see, the size of every instance on the stage is changed, and you can see this because we're editing in place. And you can make whatever other changes you like. You can change the color, change it to a solid, etc. Basically, you can do anything to this that you could do to a normal shape on the stage, and it will be reflected in all the instances. Okay, let's undo this. And we'll have a look at editing symbols directly. In the library, all you have to do is double-click the symbol. Now again, we're inside the myball_MC movie clip, but this time you can't see it in relation to the rest of the document. You can still make all the same changes, but you won't see the rest of your document until you return to the main scene. Okay, let's undo this. And that's it for editing symbols. Now let's look at editing instances. For the most part, this works in exactly the same way as editing a symbol. Grab the free transform tool again and resize it. Notice that in this case none of the other instances change because you're only editing this one reference. But you cannot use any of the drawing tools. You can't paint on it without creating a new shape. So if you try, I'll try and paint on this now. It's there, but it's underneath this instance. It doesn't become part of it. It's its own shape. What you can do, though, is use the Properties Inspector to change things like the color. Over here under Color, we have a drop-down list. Let's try Tint. I just made it red. And so on. You can change the alpha or transparency of it. And you can also change the blend mode, which we're going to get to a little bit later in this course. But basically, to wrap up this lesson, we've learned that editing a symbol is easy, but it affects every instance of that symbol in your document. On the other hand, editing an instance is just as easy, but it's a little bit more limited.